There are many forms of aliens, with gray aliens being one of the most popular of those sighted on a regular basis. They've captured the attention of countless numbers of people, with a ton of new sightings cropping up every single day. This trend shows no sign of slowing, with the internet being flooded with alien videos, both good and bad. These 5 gray aliens caught on camera and spotted in real life feature some videos that we felt like sharing, and we hope you enjoy them. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Meat Locker Abductee. This alien video was uploaded with the simple tag of "This video is 100% authentic." It shows a guy waking up in a cold room after supposedly being knocked out. We're supposed to believe that he's been abducted and left in an alien cell awaiting certain probing. We'll overlook the fact that his phone was on and recording everything when he woke up, which isn't out of the ordinary at all, and also ignore his immediately picking it up to film his surroundings. We wouldn't be thinking about our phone's camera immediately after waking up in a place like that, and would instead panic before finally regaining our composure and pulling our phones out. Our trapped videographer turns around and sees a door that connects to a walk-in freezer connecting to yet another door. The door closes behind him and he moves toward the far door, hearing banging noises the entire time. He makes his way toward the door and opens it up, coming face to face with an alien that we get an up-close glimpse of. It peers around the corner and looks directly at him, although it looks like the alien is just as hesitant as he is. The guy behind the camera then freaks out and turns to run away, but his escape is cut short after he falls, dropping the camera. At this point, the footage cuts out and goes dark, leaving us to assume that he was finally probed and dumped somewhere before his abductees took off. He had to have survived his ordeal because he posted the video, possibly opting to avoid showing his face because he was embarrassed about whatever happened to him. Alien abductee shame post-abduction is a very real concern, people. Think about it for a second. How would you feel if you were stolen by a group of aliens and locked away in a meat locker for whatever nefarious purposes they choose? Look, this footage is amateur at best, but a good first attempt. Hopefully this guy can put together a better, authentic video after he's received a little constructive criticism. He could definitely use it, but we should say again that we think he does have potential. Number 4. Night Vision Sighting. A video taken at night with a handheld infrared camera shows us what looks a lot like a strange little creature hanging out at the edge of a road before taking off into the sky, disappearing into the night. The entire scene is pitch black, and we're amazed that this guy was able to see anything at all. He gets right up close to the creature, seeming pretty surprised about the ordeal, which makes sense. If you ran into a strange creature at night, you'd probably be pretty freaked out too. We don't think this is an alien or a ghost, which seems to be the general consensus based on the comments we've seen, but we think that the video is far too blurry to make any real suggestions about what it could be. But we think the culprit is probably some kind of a bird or other small creature. It could also just be an optical illusion, caused as a result of the poor image quality and maybe some kind of light source. Given the surroundings, the entire scene is pretty spooky, meaning people's imaginations are always gonna run wild when trying to decipher what's going on. It's nighttime during the winter time, and the guy behind the camera seems to be on a snowy dirt track, complete with barns in the background. If an alien was gonna pop by to say hi, then this place is pretty fitting. It's remote and quiet, but it's also a spot that probably sees a lot of wildlife, with this being a simple case of misidentification in less than ideal conditions. It's still a good video and made us think twice about it. Whenever we go back and take another look, we can't help but feel like the creature does seem to be much more alien in appearance each and every time. It's hard to believe that an alien would be so careless, but if this one happens to have poor hearing and eyesight, then it's feasible that it could have been surprised. Do you think it's an alien or simply a wild animal? Let us know in the comments below. Number 3. Ghost Hunter Close Call. Ghost hunter John Mooner had the scare of his life when he had one hell of a terrifying run-in with a creature that sounds like it's straight out of the land of nightmares. He's convinced that it's an alien, but others are clamoring that it's probably a chupacabra. Looking at the footage, we think that this is probably closer to a gray alien in appearance, and we thought we should add it to today's countdown. Mooner is based out of the UK and was able to think fast when he was attacked by this ferocious creature, fending it off and snapping some close-ups all at the same time. He said that it stared at him blankly and had an ethereal appearance, not having any definite shape, with dark black eyes. It then began to float around him, making him feel extremely uncomfortable all of a sudden, with a wave of panic settling over him. It blocked his passage past it as he pulled out his camera, defying all logic by deciding to stay put and not immediately tear off in the opposite direction like any sane person would have done. He says that he initially thought he had passed another hiker, but noticed the unmistakable alien appearance when he got up close. He miraculously got his camera out and snapped a shot. He attempted to take another, but the batteries tumbled out as he brought the camera back up to get a clear shot. This makes him stupidly brave and downright idiotic in general, with that being a pretty poor time to drop your double A's. The alien then came at him, moving quickly in his direction. Mooner finally regained his senses and began to run, heading into the woods the way he had just come. He said he ran for miles before he suddenly began coughing up blood out of nowhere. He says that the alien must have done something to him to cause that reaction, but he can't imagine what it was. Exams have shown that he's still relatively healthy, with nothing terribly out of the ordinary, like a missing kidney or something. Mooner is claimed to have seen UFOs repeatedly over the years, with most being iffy at best, and we think he's just looking for attention. On the other hand, he is telling the truth, then this guy is probably the most unlucky person in the world, being a magnet for malicious aliens from outer space. Number 2. Rancher's Close Encounter. An alien hanging out on the roof of a building has been causing quite a stir, with all sorts of commenters weighing in with their own, sometimes outlandish theories. Still, others have claimed that it's nothing more than an elaborate hoax. The video shows a very strange beast hanging out in Nuevo Laredo, Mexico. It takes off pretty quickly after being spotted, not giving much time to really get a good look at it, although stills make it look pretty fake to us. The video was supposedly taken by a ranch owner who heard something strange going on outside, deciding to pull out his camera and investigate further. Being a rancher, we're sure he's used to random creatures showing up from time to time and has no qualms with heading outside to scare most of them off, but this is definitely out of his league. He stops with shock and doesn't try chasing the thing down, which is a safe bet. We don't think this video has much to it and suspect that it was put together by someone who had a lot of time on their hands and not much to keep themselves busy. The quality is poor, and the creature itself is a poor attempt at showcasing alien life. I mean, the thing is humanoid enough, but the odd movements and appearance are just too much for us. And we suggest this editor start using a little more in the way of advanced texturing when putting together his next masterpiece. It's not a bad attempt, with the standard poor quality helping to make it look like it was taken by a simple rancher who's not quite up on technology, probably using an old camera. We still never knew of any cameras to have quality that's so poor, even back in the day when they were still fairly new. This all speaks to the fact that this video is probably a complete hoax, with the creature shown just being an early attempt at making a monster. If they were new to editing, then we'll give them credit where credit's due and state that it was good enough to fool a ton of viewers, so maybe we're being unnecessarily harsh with our critique. Number 1. Forest Alien. This gray alien looks more like a forest nymph or a dryad. First of all, it's freakishly tall and does seem to have a very distinct green tint to it. The group of hikers doesn't seem to know what they're getting themselves into, plodding ahead towards the alien with their heads down. We get that they gotta watch their step, but that sight up in the distance is pretty freaky. We can't imagine looking through your photos after the fact and coming across something like this. We doubt they contacted the thing though, because they made it out in one piece and were able to upload the image for us to come across. The alien does look pretty docile, just standing there maintaining a silent vigil. Its size and coloring make us think it's just some strange shadows being cast on some awkward trees and not a visitor from another planet. First of all, that thing couldn't last a day on Earth without being spotted after someone literally bumped into it, with the woods not really providing much protection, as evidenced by our group of weekend warriors here. Its spaceship would have to be enormous to accommodate this alien. Something that big would absolutely be spotted if it passed through our atmosphere, with multiple nations mobilizing on that spot if it even began to touch down. We do like the idea of this thing being a dryad, which is a mythical creature that features in lore from multiple ancient civilizations. They inhabit trees and spend their days engaging in playful antics and engaging with other forest spirits. They're supposed to be quite shy, staying away from people, which explains why this one gave this particular group a wide berth. These people would have had cameras ready to expose its existence to the world, with this picture almost doing it in, but looking just normal enough to make skeptics like us assume that it's just an optical illusion. Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button before you head out if you're new. That's all you have to do. Come on, just click it. I know you want to. Oh, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. I heard it gives you superpowers in the future or something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.